So I started rewatching this show on Netflix the other day called Meet the Parkers, right? Or The Parkers. I think that's what it's called, The Parkers. And if y'all haven't watched that show, y'all are definitely missing out on a good laugh, right? It's kind of the show itself is kind of nostalgic to me because it's something that I literally grew up watching, right? Back in the day, I remember turning on my TV or being excited to turn on the TV just to watch it. And so for me, not only is it nostalgic, but it has added a lot of laughter to my life, right? And while watching the show, I realized how much laughter was truly missing from my life, right? I sort of allowed life, the circumstances, things that I don't have. Um, I've sort of allowed adult life to sort of rob me of my freedom, rob me of my laughter, rob me of a lot of my happiness, right? And I think a lot of us, we allow life to rob us of our laughter. We allow life to rob us of our smiles, right? We allow life to rob us of our freedom and our happiness. As we make the transition from childhood to adulthood, essentially what we do is we trade a greater freedom for a lesser one. Sure, as an adult, you might be able to do certain things that you couldn't do as a child, right? Without your parents nagging. You might have a car now, you might be able to buy certain things, have a job, so on and so forth. So you have a different level of freedom. But for a lot of us, that freedom that we gain as a result of becoming an adult robs us of a greater freedom. The freedom to laugh, the freedom to be excited, the freedom to be playful, the freedom to not take ourselves so seriously and not take life so seriously, right? The freedom to truly laugh and enjoy life. We allow adulthood to rob us of that. Most people in this world don't even remember the last time they had a good laugh. Most people in this world don't even remember the time in which they genuinely smiled, the time in which they genuinely, truly enjoyed life. Most of us can't remember. We really can't. There's this beautiful quote. I think it's by G.K. Chesterton. G.K. Chesterton, right? And the quote says, "The angels fly because they take themselves lightly." Right? And it's truthfully one of my favorite quotes, right? And it's so deep. And to me, essentially what it's saying is that the very thing that makes life beautiful, the very thing that makes life worthwhile, the thing that brings out the best in every single one of us is not taking ourselves so seriously. Is not taking, I don't want to say, yes, is not taking life so seriously, right? That to me is the very thing that brings out the best in us, right? And I think it's not until the other day I realized how seriously I was taking life. It's not until the other day I realized how seriously, I was taking everything, and I was sort of detaching from my childlike nature, detaching from my laughter, detaching from my smile. It's not until the other day I truly realized that. And I think for me, the greatest form of wisdom is to not take ourselves so seriously, right? Sure, you might be intelligent, you might know a lot of things, you might know a lot of information, have a lot of information, so on and so forth. But if that information isn't causing you to get closer to happiness, if that information isn't causing you to, in a sense, attain a sense of freedom, right? If having certain things isn't causing you to be free and to be happy, then what's the point of having it? I think the whole point of life is to enjoy life. The whole point of life is to be happy, is to be free, is to go through life with a smile, go through life with laughter. That to me is the whole point of this thing that we call life. But how many of us truly can say that we truly enjoy the life that we're living? How many of us can truly say that the life that we're living is one that is filled with fun and laughter? How many of us can truly say that? You know, a lot of us are sort of waiting for some extravagant thing, or waiting for someone else to bring laughter and joy into our lives, right? Waiting on for certain friendships, certain romantic relationships. We're waiting for certain big things, big accomplishments to come into our lives to bring us that laughter and bring us that joy, right? But your joy and your laughter doesn't have to be dependent on anyone else. You can be the reason why you laugh. You can be the reason why you smile. You can be the reason why you're happy, right? You don't have to wait for someone else to bring those things into your life, right? Laugh at yourself when you make a mistake instead of taking that mistake so seriously. Laugh at your own jokes, right? I literally laugh at my own jokes all the time, right? You know, laugh at the way your hair looks when you wake up in the morning, right? Find things to laugh at. Find small things to bring you joy. Turn on a TV show like The Parkers and sit and watch it, you know, with a cup of ice cream and laugh, right? Just laugh, right? Deposit some laughter back into your life. Don't wait until something extravagant happens for you to laugh. Don't wait until that person comes into your life for you to finally begin to enjoy life, right? Enjoy life by being your own source of laughter. Enjoy life by being your own source of happiness. Recognize that everything that you're searching for, even your happiness, even your laughter, all those things you can be the source of. And it doesn't have to be dependent on something or someone external. And even if it is dependent on something external, let it be something simple, right? Let it be a TV show. Let it be something simple, right? I think there's so much more healing that can take place from laughter, right? So much healing. To me, laughter is truly one of the greatest forms of healing. You know, if you notice, the people who laugh a lot, the people who don't take themselves so seriously, they sort of have this young, radiant essence about them, right? You love being around them because they're like the sun, essentially, right? There's something about them that you have no choice but to truly just enjoy being around them, right? And that's what life is truly about. A lot of our healing, right? A lot of the burdens that we carry, a lot of the traumas that we carry, a lot of the scars that we carry, a lot of the pain that we carry, a lot of the suffering that we're carrying can be eased the more we deposit laughter into our lives, right? Life is not meant to be a battlefield. I don't care what anyone says. Life is not meant to be a constant battle. This thing that we call life is meant to be fun. This thing that we call life is meant to be play. This thing that we call life is meant to be enjoyed to the highest degree. Even if you're striving for your goals, even when you're on your mission, you're on your purpose, right? That journey is supposed to be fun. That journey is supposed to be worthwhile, right? It's not supposed to take away from your happiness. You moving towards a goal, you should be enthusiastic to wake up every day and move towards it, right? And walk the path. You should be excited. And this doesn't mean you're not going to be faced with obstacles and challenges, right? This doesn't mean that certain circumstances are not going to occur, right? You're going to be faced with obstacles along the path. But I think even when those obstacles occur, right, laugh through them. Let laughter be the thing that propels you through them, to get through them, right? Let laughter be your guide. Let laughter be your motivation, right? Let laughter soothe the worries of your mind, right? Just find things to laugh at. Deposit more laughter into your life. That's how life is truly meant to be lived, for me at least. I'm not the type of person, I'm be seeing a lot of people on the internet. The way they talk about life it's sort of very masochistic. Right? It's as if they love to endure pain. And like I said before, pain and obstacles and all those things are a necessary part of life. Well, a lot of people have this mindset in which they truly believe that if they're not suffering, if they're not always toiling, if they're not always fighting, they don't believe that they're truly living life. And that to me is ridiculous. That to me is crazy. You didn't come into this world to be upset, to be angry, to be sad, to be worried, to be anxious every single day. You didn't come into this world for that. And funny enough, this morning I was taking my brother to school, and he's 7 years old, right? And while I was driving, I asked him, what do you think this thing that we call life is, right? And he looked at me and he said, we're here to have fun. That's literally what he said. I kid you not. I asked him what he believes the meaning of this thing that we call life is, and he literally looked at me and he said, to have fun, to enjoy life. That's what he said to me, and he's 7 years old. So children understand at a deeper level, or even at a subconscious level, what life is truly about. But us adults, we believe that just because we might have a certain level of intelligence, just because we might know certain things, have certain things, live longer, it means that we're wiser. And I'm starting to realize that that's not true at all. Like I said before, the greatest form of wisdom is to be carefree, is to enjoy life, is to recognize that we're here for a short time, and that short time is supposed to be enjoyable. And even when the challenges and the obstacles and all those things, they come about, we're supposed to sort of laugh through them, right? I think the thing that sort of, people talk about enlightenment and all these things a lot, right? Talk about spiritually evolving, getting closer to God and all these things. And I think to me, to get closer to God, to evolve spiritually, to become enlightened, is to truly recognize that life is meant to be enjoyed. That's what it is to me. If you're getting closer to God, quote unquote, and it's not bringing you peace, it's not bringing you joy, isn't bringing more laughter into your life, then you're not getting closer to God. You're getting closer to an idea of God, your mind. God is supposed to rest in your being. God is supposed to permeate and change you from within. Getting closer to God is supposed to bring you more peace and laughter. Becoming enlightened, becoming more spiritually awake is supposed to get you closer to a deeper sense of freedom that isn't dependent on the external world. That to me is what our spiritual evolution looks like. Not taking ourselves so seriously. Depositing laughter into our life. lives, right? And recognizing that we're here for a short time, but this short time is meant to be enjoyed. That's what it's all about to me. Not all the bullshit that we talk about, the bullshit that you hear in the spiritual community, none of that. Right? It's about enjoying this thing that we call life. Living with peace, living with joy, living with laughter, living with love, right? That's what this thing that we call life, that's what it's supposed to be about. Right? So I see all this to say, add some laughter into your life, right? Stop taking yourself so seriously. Stop taking life so seriously. Stop allowing this world to rob you of your joy. Stop reacting so much to the world and tune into the world that is within you. The world within you that is filled with love. The world within you that is filled with laughter. The world within you that is filled with peace and freedom. Begin to live from that world. Like I said, we came into this world to evolve, but not only evolve, but to walk the earth with love and laughter. To share that love and laughter with the people around us. That's what life is truly about. And the more we allow external circumstances, the more we allow people, the more we allow the pursuit of the things that we don't have to steal us of our joy and our laughter and our freedom, the more we miss out on truly living life. Because life can only be lived from where you are. And if you're waiting for something extravagant to happen, or if you're waiting for someone else to bring that laughter into your life, then all you're doing is missing out, or sort of not being able to recognize the fact that all those things that you're looking for in someone else already exist within you. And when you come to that recognition that all it is that you search for in the world rests right here, that's when you truly begin to enjoy life. That's when you truly begin to grow. That's when you truly begin to heal. The moment you recognize that you can be your own source of laughter, and you don't have to wait until something extravagant happens, and you don't have to wait until someone else brings that laughter into your life. You can be your reason to laugh. You can be your source of all it is that you look for in the world. So start laughing, have fun, laugh at yourself. Whatever it is that you like to do, whatever it is that brings you joy, just do it. And recognize that you're here to enjoy life. And laughter is your birthright. Right? That's what we're all here for. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. I guess for some reason this video touched me emotionally, because it's not until the other day I truly recognized how much I was sort of preventing myself from truly enjoying life and laughing. And a lot of us do that. A lot of us genuinely do that. A lot of people in this world are so unhappy. And it's so sad to see the unhappiness. So sad to see the suffering. And most of our suffering truly does come from the fact that we take life, and we take ourselves way too seriously. And it's not supposed to be like that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of yourselves. Give yourselves a bit of love every day, like I always say. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace and blessings.